I'm making a toon deck profile. Toons have been one of my favorite decks since their release. Just because when they were first released, when I saw them in the anime, I thought that toons looked overpowered, which they aren't. They died of a space typhoon when they were first released, but with most of the new support or new-ish support from Toon Chaos, they got a bit better, and I just like toons because their extra deck can literally be anything. So, with that being said, moving on to the main deck. The main deck with toons are usually the same, but it's the extra deck where they differ. But I play 2 copies of the Blackstone Legend. If I had 3, I would play a third, but this card's only function in this deck is to tribute itself to then summon Red Eyes Toon Dragon and recycle the Red Eyes Toon once it gets to the graveyard. But you can tribute hits per summon a level 7 or a Red Eyes monster from your deck, except for a Red Eyes Black Chick. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 level 7 or lower Red Eyes in your grave, shuffle into the deck, shuffle into the deck, and then add the Blackstone Legend to your hand. You want to use each effect once per turn. Then I play 3 copies of Deep Sea Diva. I don't play Deep Sea Diva in this deck as a first turn or turn 1 option to make Crystal Wing. But when it's normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 3 lower Sea Serpent from your deck, and in this deck it's only going to be Deep Sea Diva. Then I play onto the actual Toon monsters. I play 3 copies of Toon Harpy Lady. Toon Harpy Lady is a free summon while you control Toon World, and if it's special summoned while you control another Toon, you can destroy 1 spell trap on the field. Then I play 3 copies of Toon Mermaid. Toon Mermaid's a free summon while Toon World's in play. And also most of the toons, except for 2, have summon sickness, so most of them can't attack the same turn they're summoned. Probably should mention that. But Toon Mermaid is a free special summon, and if Toon World's not in play, it's destroyed. However, when it attacks, you have to pay 500 life points. But usually, if you're summoning Toon Mermaid, it's either because you're going to be summoning Bahamut Shark, or you also have Deep Sea Diva to make Crystal Wing. Then I play 3 copies of Toon Cyber Dragon. It's just a free summon with Cyber Dragon. And because it's Cyber Dragon, I do also place other things with the extra deck. The main cards that can come out for other hand traps would be things like Toon Cyber Dragon, Toon Harpy Lady, Toon Cyber Dragon, and Deep Sea Diva. They're not important to the deck, they're just important for extra deck monsters I wanted to use. Then I play 2 copies of Red Eyes Toon Dragon. This is probably one of the best toons in the deck because it lets you special summon a toon from your hand once per turn, other than Red Eyes Toon Dragon. Then I play 3 copies of Toon Dark Magician. Toon Dark Magician has the effect of you can discard a Toon card and either special summon a Toon monster from your deck other than Toon Dark Magician ignoring its summoning conditions, or you can add a Toon spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So you can use it to search for a Toon World, or you can use it to summon another Toon from the deck. And I play 1 copy of Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, and that's literally just for nostalgia purposes. Because what other decks can you think of that can play Red Eyes, Dark Magician, and Blue Eyes and get them all out in the same turn? I can't think of any that can do it quite as well as toons can. But if you don't want to play Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, you can always take it out for hand traps. Then I play 3 copies of Toon Blackluster Soldier. Toon Blackluster Soldier is one of the 2 toons that does not have summon sickness, because instead it has the effect of not being able to attack if you banish a card on your opponent's field. But essentially it's Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning, except you can special summon it from your hand by attributing to toon monsters that levels equal 8 from your hand or field. And that is it for my monsters. Moving on to the spells. I play 1 copy of Instant Fusion for Cyber Dragon plays. 1 copy of Mimicat. Mimicat is hilarious, but it's not that good sometimes, but it's a good one of, especially since it's searchable now. But basically, if you control a toon world and a toon monster, you target a card in your opponent's graveyard. And then if it's a monster, you special summon it to your field. If it's a spell or trap, you set it to your spell and trap zone. So one thing I like to do with it is I'll actually, in game 2 when I know my opponent's playing is it Red Eye's Dark Dragoon, what I'll do is I'll kaiju it, then I will activate Toon World, summon a Toon monster, activate Mimicat, summon their Red Eye's Dark Dragoon to my field, and it's just funny to use your opponent's Dragoon against them. Anyway, I play 3 of the best search cards in the game, 3 copies of Toon Table of Contents. Just add 1 Toon card from your deck to your hand, which technically includes itself. Then the most important card in the deck is 3 copies of Toon Kingdom. Toon Kingdom activation requires that you banish the top 3 cards of your deck face down. But while it's on the field, its name is always treated as Toon World. And it prevents your opponent from targeting Toon monsters you control. And if a Toon would be destroyed by battle or card effects, you can banish 1 card from your deck instead for each Toon that would be destroyed. So because of that, I actually thought about playing Necroface in this deck, but I don't have any, so I went ahead and settled for Toon Cyber Dragon. Then I play 3 copies of Toon Page Flip. Page Flip just says if you control Toon World, reveal 3 Toon monsters with different names from your deck. Your opponent chooses the one at random, you summon the one they chose, and the other 2 get shuffled back into the deck. Then I play 3 copies of Toon Bookmark. Toon Bookmark lets you add 1 card from your deck to your hand that lists Toon World in its text, which is how Mimicat and the next spell are searchable. But it also has the effect of if Toon World you control you destroyed by by card effect, you can banish it from your Toon Bookmark from your deck or graveyard instead. So it lets you get to Toon Kingdom and its protection for it. Then the last card is just one I love doing anyway, and that is 3 copies of Comic Hand. Because one thing I did with this card that made me laugh was I've actually used this card with Dark Lord Amor, negate an opponent's Dragoon, and then take control of it. And now I have a Red Eye's Toon Dragoon, and my opponents hate it when I do that. It's just funny to take control of their monster and then negate and then have the ability to attack directly. So depending on what certain situations you have with Comic Hand, it can be hilarious. But that is it for the main deck. Moving on to the side deck. I play 1 copy of Nightmare Cerberus, just so I can deal with my opponent's special summon monsters that can be targeted and destroyed. Nightmare Phoenix for back row. Nightmare Unicorn for problem cards. And Boral Sword to deal with things that are too big. That's it for the links. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the extra can literally be anything, so it's literally just player preference. And I play 1 copy of Panzer Dragon with Instant Fusion. And then for the Synchros, I play Stardust Charge Warrior and Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Crystal Wing just being a generic monster negate that also gains the attack points of any level 5 or higher monster it battles. Then for Xyz, I play 1 copy of Toad, just a generic negate that also lets you set to your field depending on what it is you negated. Then I play 1 copy of Daigusto Emerald to recycle my graveyard monsters. Then this next card should really be something more competitive, but I'm only playing it because of its name. And that is number 44, Sky Pegasus. And I'm only playing this because Pegasus was the character that played Toons in the anime, so why not play a Pegasus in the deck? Then I play one copy of Bahamut Shark, just to summon Toad. Oh yeah, and the fun part with Toad is also has the effect of when it leaves the field, you can return one water monster from your graveyard to your hand. So as long as you have another water in grave, you can actually have Toad return itself, and Bahamut Shark can summon it again the next turn. And then I do play one copy of Cyber Dragon Nova for the Cyber Dragon stuff, for Cyber Dragon Infinity. Cyber Dragon Infinity is just a generic negate by using material. You can target an attack position monster in the field and attach it as material. And its attack points are increased by 200 for each card it has as material. And then this next one is meant to be, it should be Red Ice Flare Metal Dragon. But because I don't have it, it is instead one copy of number 61 Volcasaurus. Use material, target a monster in the field, destroy it, burn your opponent's life points equal to that monster's attack. However, when you use this effect, Volcasaurus cannot attack directly that turn. But it can still attack monsters, it just can't attack directly. And to finish off the extra deck, I play one copy of number 11 Big Eye. Big Eye just requires 2 level 7s and can use the material to take control of my opponent's monster. However, Big Eye can't attack the turn you after that effect. But depending on what you take, such as Dark Roar No More, take the Dragoon, it can be worth it. And that's it for the extra deck. Moving on to the side deck. The side deck is just something that I thought might be useful for Toon. Originally I was playing Kaijus, but I decided I'd try playing 3 copies of Toon Mask and 3 copies of Toon Briefcase instead, just to see how I like them. If I don't like them, then I'll just replace them with Kaijus like Dogoran and Gameciel. But Toon Mask just says, if I control Toon World, I can target a monster my opponent controls, and then summon a Toon of an equal or lower level for my deck. And Toon Briefcase just says, when your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, while you control a Toon monster, shuffle that monster or the monsters into the deck. So this card was really fun when Pendulums were the meta, because I would have a Toon monster, they would Pendulum summon 5, and I go, okay, Briefcase, put it all back. Or if your opponent, or against things like Prank Kids, when they would summon multiple Prank Kids off of one effect, I go, Briefcase, back in the deck they go. It's just really fun to do. And the last 3 cards is literally just 3 Warning, 3 Judgment, and 3 copies of Solemn Strike. My entire side deck is literally meant for going second. But if I don't like how Toon Briefcase or Toon Mask are, or even the Solemn cards, then I'll replace them with Kaijus. But that is it for my Toon deck profile. If you have any ideas of what I can do to improve the deck, or any ideas of decks you would want me to make, or even decks I've made that you want to see fight each other, feel free to comment those below. Thanks for watching.